Pulled up another live. All right, we'll try this one more again. If not, I'll just have to upload it because I don't want to go past our time. If somebody can, is anybody able to go over to YouTube and double check again? Or we'll see if somebody comes on. And of course, somebody comes now at this moment, blast some music. You can see me on TikTok. We're trying to see if on YouTube. YouTube is working. YouTube is working. You can hear me. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Don't know what was happening. I literally just closed it out, deleted it, just put it up again, and now you guys can hear. Okay. All righty. Let's go ahead and get into this. Sorry about that, y'all. Thank you for your help. Or else I would have been doing this whole thing and would have thought this recorded, and it would have just been nothing. So thank you for calling that out. All right, let's go ahead and get this together. May the words, I'm sorry, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in Yahweh's sight. He is our strength and our redeemer, and it is in his name, which is his authority, that we pray, praise, proclaim, project, and protect tonight's message. Aman. Reshan Shalom. We'll say our Bible pledge. We're going to go to Exodus chapter 12. We're going to start at verse 14. Exodus 12:14. Apologize, because of time, I'm not going to be able to wait for you. We're going to try to get out of here by 8:20. All righty. Thank you, Brother Cole. I see you. All right. So we'll try this again. Sorry about that. All right. Bible pledge goes as follows. This is my Bible. This is my sword. This will I trust. For Yahshua is Lord. No sword of God shall ever be heard. For this is my Bible, and this is Yah's word. Hashem Yahweh. Amen. All righty. Exodus chapter 12. We're going to start at verse 14. It reads as follows. It says, "And the day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to Yahweh throughout your generations. We shall keep it a feast and ordinance forever. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the seventh day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel." We've just read Exodus chapter 12, verses 14 and 15. May Yahweh bless those who read here and especially adhere to his most holy and righteous word. Amen. So tonight we're going to talk about this is generational. Remove the leaven. Tonight we're going to talk about this is generational. All right, I got about 8 minutes left, so we're going to jump right in. This is generational. Now, obviously here, or maybe not so obvious to some, just in case you have not really been part of this culture or hearing me for the first time or have never really gotten into the actual biblical holy days that are supposed to be honored and kept. This is talking about not the removing the 40-day period beforehand, right? But this is actually after the day after Passover, talking about the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? In which we should have no leaven in our home, definitely by that first day, really by Passover, because Passover we're supposed to have unleavened bread, right? So, but it talks about how if we go against this, even having having leaven in our bread, that you will be utterly cut off. Right? We talked about this even with other holy days, that one can be cut off, right? Simply because they're not keeping the holy days. That's how serious they are. As we talked about before, and even been talking about with these live sessions now for a while, this is generational. This is familial. This is family in this, right? This is for a set of law, right? That we're supposed to keep. This is law. The Bible for us is law and case study. It is not for everyone. And those who will not adhere to it will be utterly what? Cut off. That's how important it is to remove leaven. Somebody might say it's not, but once again, the law is there to help you with something else. See, in removing the leaven, in the process of removing the leaven representing sin, you begin to look for a bunch of things that are sin in your life to remove, right? And this is generational. If we go back and read, right, it tells us in verse 14 of Exodus chapter 12, Exodus 12:14, it tells us that we should keep a feast unto Yahweh throughout what? Throughout your generations. These things that we are doing are required to be kept generationally, right? Removing the leaven is something that your generations behind you will see you do. It might even question, and you can go ahead and give them a word, or your generations coming up will be part of, right? Now you're going through stuff and they're like, oh yeah, I want to have pizza. And you're like, well, we can't do that. It's got leaven, right? Oh yeah, that's right. Right. Everywhere we go, it affects our lives. And this is how we should think generationally. And one of the things that's happened is in removing these holy days and getting to Christianity and finding which stuff we want to follow rather than need to follow, right? Jehovah is our shepherd, we shall not want, we shall not lack. But many of us want to follow or want to do this rather than realize the need, the necessity. When Yah gives us these things, when we do things as a community, we're focusing on the needs, right? Even if there's things that we would say that we do more traditionally that are not necessarily set in stone, everything should be a need, and a need not just for you, but for generations to come. This is how important it is that we keep the word, that we honor the word, that we be true to the word, and that we don't slack, that we don't go to the left or to the right, that we're not lukewarm, that at least persons can know where we stand. Are we hot on this? Are we cold on this? What is the texture of the things that we're eating? We even eat the whole scroll, right? We don't throw away the pieces that we don't want. And a lot of persons want you and I to be in this position to where we kind of do this, we kind of do that. Maybe we'll be in the word. Maybe we'll acknowledge this part of the word, but when it starts talking about works, no, not so much, right? But it's time for us to go through a period of removing leaven, right? Generationally, right? Generationally, or else you can be utterly cut off. This is mentioned in Exodus 12, we just mentioned. You'll see this mentioned again in Leviticus, I believe it's Leviticus 22, right? Or maybe 23. But you'll see in there where not adhering, not following, not listening to the commands, the statutes, etc., get you cut off. That is how important these days are to us, right? That is how important it is that Yah says you will be cut off. Yahashua later says, I am the vine, ye are the branches. You can do nothing without me. And if you be cut off, you will wither away, right? These are things that connect us. You must think for the world, for things that are even satanic and demonic, right? They feel connected in them, even if they don't. Like when you did Christmas, for those of you who did, when you did Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, right, there was a feeling of connection. We might even call it peer pressure, but it was a connection. Hey, at least I'm connected to something, even if something in me is saying, no, not so much, not so correct, right? When some of us were doing stuff like Ouija boards and stuff like that, you might have even known it was wrong. Everybody told you it was wrong. Even that thing inside you said, this is weird. We shouldn't be waiting for something to move us. Nevertheless, nevertheless, you were doing it for a sense of connection. And the problem with a lot of persons is they don't want to remove the leaven or remove things that represent sin. Why? Because they feel like they'll be disconnected from the world. And here, let me just help you with that. You should be. Right? These things are not only connecting us closer to Yah, but as they connect us more with him, they also disconnect us from things that are unholy. Right? We are becoming more connected by disconnecting from the leaven, disconnecting from the sin, right? I find myself, even though I try to keep up with stuff, I find it more and more difficult. Even when I'm trying to study lyrics and stuff that people give me, hey, have you heard this song? What do you think about this? Blah, blah. I listen to it, but I even find like, dang, I can't even, I gotta get the clean version. I used to be able to sit there. Now it's difficult for me to sit through 5 minutes or something when everybody's mother effing everything. Do the whole thing. Why? Because I've been disconnected from speaking like that, and the persons I'm around are disconnected from it, and so there's a lot of things that I'm trying to cleanse and get out of my mind from years of being I won't even say being oblivious, but basically just being unprotected and maybe being shown things that I should have never been shown, things that I never should have been down with, things that I never really technically was down with, or whatever. But I felt connected because of this. So now I have to come out of that. Right. And the more things I disconnect from, the more I remove the leaven, right, the more it's going to help me. And watch this, is going to break generational curses. Just because every generation before me for a while might have been doing this doesn't mean that we're going to do it. And that also means that if we break it here, then my son doesn't have to experience what his father did experience. Right. We have an opportunity to do something generationally sound and awesome. Right? We have an opportunity to stand on something that others couldn't stand on. We have an opportunity to be obedient to something that others around us aren't obedient to. And you will discover that when you cut yourself off from those things, not only will you become greater, but guess what? Persons will respect you, even if they don't want to roll with you. They're going to have to respect it. And what will happen with some, they will start to respect it so much that they begin to do it with you. What will happen for others is they might not respect it so much. And when they don't respect it so much or whatever, guess what? They are now, and that this is going to be painful. I'm not going to say they are leaven, but they obviously love leaven too much to stop eating it, right? See, even the connection is nostalgic. There's persons that know straight up they shouldn't have pork, right? But when you come over and everybody eating bacon and everybody eating pepperoni and everybody's having bacon and mac and cheese, and now people are stuffing pork inside of corn dogs and making pork dogs or whatever you want to call it, gets tough. Because in order to cut that off, you have to really start to begin by cutting it off. You begin to say, hey, I'm willing to be cut off from these relationships. I'm willing to be cut off from things that I did when I was a little child, right? One of the reasons why it's hard to get away from soda is because we had soda when we were little. So now that we're bigger, it's difficult. Those who never grew up on soda, they try to have soda when they're an adult, too sweet. When they were always cut off from it, right? When they were always disconnected, they weren't cut off from their health. Many of us were into a whole bunch of items and things and things that really were taking us away from Yah. We were into it, and so now here comes the process. This is why it's a 40-day process. Technically 48 days of having no leaven, but 40 days of removing the leaven, or at least if some of us might have been leaven free starting day one. Regardless of how you're doing it, it's time to start removing it through this process. It's time to start making sure that we're taking time out. And that means everywhere I go, every store I go to, every time I eat, I got to think about it. And now let me switch gears and let me make sure spiritually, everything I eat, everything I see, everything I cook up spiritually, whatever, it remains leaven free as well. I'm on. All right. So my time is up. 8:20. I said I was going to be done. Appreciate y'all. Remove the leaven series. Please feel free to look it up on recordings on YouTube and everywhere else. The next time we'll be doing it will be Wednesday at 8 a.m. New York time, just for 15-20 minutes, just brief messages in this 40-day period to help to remind you the importance of removing the leaven. Hopefully you're doing well with that. Once again, if you need help with it, contact somebody, let us know what's going on, and we'll do our best to help you. Don't forget that there's stuff posted from the last couple of years of what has leaven in it, recipes you can make with unleavened bread, all those different things, okay? So love you all to life. You all take care. Tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. New York time. Early Riser Bible study session. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. New York time, live session. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. New York time. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. New York time, live session in the evening. And then I'll be off Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, but make sure we support Elder Select Tamara on what she's doing on Tuesday. Or is it Tuesday, Wednesday now? I get confused now, Elder Select Tamara. Let's make sure that we show up. I'm going to do my best to make sure I show up and support as well. I've been trying to share some of her stuff on YouTube and different places. Please make sure that you're checking out her YouTube channel. She's doing really well. And if you happen to miss what she does, you can always catch up on her YouTube channel if you miss it on TikTok. All right. So love you all to life. You all take care. Continue to do great things. Let's continue to remove the leaven. Okay, definitely Wednesdays at 8 p.m. New York time. So there we go. So check her out Wednesday, 8 p.m. New York time. And we'll see you for Removing the Leaven, 8 a.m. New York time. But tomorrow, 6:30 a.m., Early Rise Bible Study session. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. New York time, Early Rise Bible Study. I'm sorry. Tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. New York time, Early Rise Bible Study session. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. New York time, live session. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. New York time, live session. All right. Thank you all again. You all take care. And remember that you are loved. You're necessary. You're majestic. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. And you, which is all of us working together, will be the reason why people who are in this system no longer have to be of it. Shalom. Peace.